I still am chopping and changing these teams. I just can't make a final decision. But
this was really difficult, actually.
It was really, really difficult.
Well, Tottenham wasn't very difficult for me, to be honest.
Oh, it is for me.
Shall I tell you what was interesting was both teams, both Spurs and Everton, really struggled to get a decent midfield.
I know. Well, that's
not decent, but like as in like to get like a balanced midfield that works.
I know. I'm looking at that. I know exactly what you're saying because I've found that with Spurs now. I've managed to find it because I always wanted, even though it's like you could put the names in, I wanted a balanced team. Yeah. But the Everton team, even though I've decided on that now, it's not a great team. It's not a brilliant team, is it?
No. Do you know what? My Everton team is not a great. I've going through it. I was surprised. I mean, it sounds like a harsh indictment, but yeah, there's not a lot of great players that stood out when I was going through the squad. It was like, I'm writing players down that had no chance of getting in.
I know.
How many players at Everton move on and then come back for a second spell?
Yeah, I know.
You look at list of players. There's so many that have gone and come back, or I
know.
Yeah. Well, there was even to the point where, usually I don't consider current players, but for Everton, I did sort of consider a couple that have only just got there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I didn't do that.
I considered them. Yeah. Because you've got to.
One of them make a bench.
Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin at the moment, they're pretty decent. But they didn't make my team.
Yeah. No, me neither.
Me neither.
Spurs was easier, but again, there's a lot of bang average players.
Yeah, but the thing is, you probably both found it. How many top strikers have had over the years?
Yeah, fair.
I mean, I've got about 5 strikers on my bench.
But weirdly, though, when I looked at the strikers, because you know what I'm like with strikers, I look at the stats and the goal scoring. Not very prolific, a lot of them.
Really?
I always think Jermaine Defoe, he banged in tons of goals. Yeah. Not particularly.
He was that surprised me actually because I think I was saying this to somebody earlier. I think no matter what anyone says, I think he's one of the top 5 most natural and deadliest finishers the Premier League's ever had.
Yeah, but I mean the numbers do not suggest that.
Wow.
Well, blame the players around him. That's what I would say because he was dynamite 10 years ago. He was dynamite.
Yeah. Well, should we just kick off? Should we just hello, welcome?
We're mad.
This is the Football Humans. We are on Zoom. Normally, we are in a pub, but pubs aren't going to reopen until, when is it? 21st of June that Boris has said? Or
no, we can drink outside, can't we? We can go to beer gardens and stuff, but they're just not allowed inside until 21st of June. Is that all right?
All right. When can we drink in a beer garden then?
I thought that was the case. That's disappointing if that's
Isn't
not
that April? You can do that.
That's April. I thought it was.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully we will be in a beer garden recording this with
our new haircuts.
With a new haircut, yeah.
Fuck it, I'll just go wear a hat.
Not in the sun.
Until then, we've got the old Zoom, and
that's what hats are for. That's goalkeepers use hats to keep sun out of their eyes. What are you on about?
Sorry, Wragg. Ras keeps talking, yeah.
No, but
sorry, Wragg. Sorry.
Well, this all started a couple of weeks ago when we named our best sort of starting team for our prospective teams that we support. So I support Liverpool, so I did my best Liverpool team. Mr. Michael Felton supports Chelsea, he did his best Chelsea team, and John Berry supports Man United, so he did a Man United team.
Yeah.
No, he supports the Hearts.
I don't actually.
He supports the Hearts. We just like to.
I'm a sympathiser. Put it that way. I'm a sympathiser.
Ribbon. But so last week we did our teams. Who did we do last week? God, it's gone out of my head.
Newcastle and Arsenal.
Newcastle and Arsenal. Yeah. Correct. And this week we have picked the teams Spurs and Everton. So let's kick off. Should we go Spurs or Everton first? What do we reckon, chaps?
I think Spurs. Actually,
okay, let's go Spurs.
I don't know. It's a toss up.
No, he said Spurs. Spurs.
Which team did you look at first? Which team did you tackle first?
I did Spurs first, actually. Yeah.
I did Spurs first.
I think I did as well. Yeah. Yeah. So go Spurs. Yeah, go Spurs.
We'll go Spurs.
Because I thought, and I was right, the Spurs would be easiest for me.
Yeah.
So basically, I mapped out. I put, I think, 4 names in a formation, and they stayed there, and I just filled in around it.
But you built the team around 4 players.
Of a team.
No, I put them in certain places. So I knew I was going to play a formation of 4-3-3. I knew that was going to happen.
Right.
And then, well, actually, I put 5 players in and then just went through and looked out for the rest of them.
Interesting. I went for a 4-4-2.
Oh, right. I went for a 4-4-2 diamond, actually.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. So let's go with goalkeeper, because we I think it's best to start there. Goalkeeper. Who have we gone for, chaps? Who you having as your goalie?
I would say we've all gone to the same one. I would think. No?
I really don't think they have.
Do you reckon?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't. No way.
I've gone Paul Robinson.
Oh, really? I went Lloris, because even though he's got a ricket in him, he's the best keeper they've had. When I looked through it,
I put Lloris on the bench.
Well, I put Lloris on the bench as well, but I think Robinson and Lloris are totally overrated, and I think the best keeper they've had in the last 30 years is Brad Friedel. So I put Brad Friedel in.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
How long was he there for?
He wasn't there that long, was he?
He was there for 3 or 4 years, I think, wasn't he?
I don't know about that. I feel like
I thought he was there for like a season.
Wasn't he like a backup for most of the time?
No, because he was what's the word I'm looking for? He played the most games consecutively. Yeah, have a look. Consecutively, same games, and then
he was there for 4 years. He only played 50 games in the league.
Do you know why it was? It was because who did they have first? Curicini, and then he took over for Curicini, but then they signed Lloris, and then Brad Friedel just went on the bench for the last couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
But Friedel, I was. It was one of those things.
How can he be the best?
Hang
on. How can he be the best?
Because I think he's better than Lloris. Like I think Curicini was really harsh to lose his place to Czech when they signed Czech. I mean, he's still a great goalkeeper, but I just think they didn't need to sign Lloris. He signed him because they thought, Brad Friedel's he's 39, he's an old keeper.
How old was? I mean, Brad Friedel was already. He was already 40 when he was at Spurs. No,
he was about that, wasn't he? Yeah, 39.
He was, 40. Yeah. So they needed to sign with someone. They couldn't he's got another 20 years.
But Friedel hadn't missed a game for about 3 years, and he was solid. And then they just brought in Lloris, and it was like remember when they signed Lloris, it was like he's France's number one. They're obviously going to make him number one, but then they had him on the bench first couple of games. But it was as soon as Friedel let in a goal, I mean, a slight mistake, Lloris was going to come in, and that was Friedel out.
Yeah,
and it took about 2 or 3 games. And
in fairness to Lloris, though, then he didn't really let up. And I would say it's only in the last few years that he's started to have like an odd ricket. And when he does,
well, I think I would prefer.
But I don't think it's that often.
I think you've got to think of this as players in their prime. So who would you prefer in their prime, Lloris in his prime or Brad Friedel in his prime? And I would go for Brad Friedel.
Why are you discounting Paul Robinson? Paul Robinson at the time was becoming like England goalkeeper. You know,
I thought he was decent keeper.
He was a decent keeper. He was
decent for Spurs.
No, not for me.
And you know what I always remember about him? When I hear his name or when I saw his name, instantly it's like, oh, he kicked the ball into that camera that was going overhead that time. You know, they had the camera, it's suspended really high above the pitch for an England game. I can't remember when it was. And he booted it so high that it hit that.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that at all.
Right, we've got to come to agreement. I think I'm willing to.
Hang on, you both got Lloris on your bench, haven't you?
Yeah, so let's go for Lloris.
I'm willing to go for Lloris, actually. Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
I'll promote him from our bench and put Paul Robinson on the bench. So let's have Lloris at the back. Now we need to work out the formation. So we've all got 4 at the back. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got 4 at the back. Yeah.
Right. So let's start with the right back.
I would say this was the hardest. The defence was the hardest part of this team for me.
I found it quite easy.
To decide. Really?
Yeah. I just went with my gut. I went with my gut and just shoved them in. but I did a curveball at left back, which we'll get to. Right back.
Oh, really?
I went Stephen Carr.
No, I went Kieran Trippier.
I went Kyle Walker.
Oh, do you know what? Shit, I forgot about Kyle Walker. For some reason,
You want to change it? You want to change it now?
I'm changing it. Yeah, I'll go Kyle Walker.
Yeah, fine.
I'm changing it on mine. I completely forgot about it.
I'll take that.
Can I just say, I'm glad you brought this up, because after I was spent quite a few, I couldn't get to sleep the other night, so I was thinking about my Everton Spurs team at the time, and then I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to sleep for ages, because I've been staying up so late and getting up so late in the morning because of half term. So I came down here again, lay on the couch, and did my teams about 1 in the morning on Sunday, and then no, it wasn't 1 in the morning. It was about 12:30, 12:15 or whatever. And then I've been having a look since then on the fans at the greatest Premier League's 11, and a lot of the Tottenham fans, the Tottenham overall greatest Premier League 11, had Stephen Carr right back. And I read a bit about it. They had a little note about it saying, oh, this and that, appearances, steady, whatever. But he said he has tainted his name at Spurs because of the way he left in 2004. Now, when you look now at what he said, it is ridiculous. He left to go to Newcastle in 2004 because he said he wanted to win trophies. I think he's kicking himself with that one. Wow. I'm going to Newcastle to win trophies. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, Spurs did win a trophy in the next few years after, didn't they?
I know. Well, Newcastle won absolutely nothing.
For that reason, I'm willing to give him up and go with Kyle Walker. Yeah, I'll take that.
For some reason, I don't know why I didn't see him. Maybe because I started looking at transfers in, but then you don't.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Kyle Walker then.
Well, I thought
I think we might all have the same centre halves.
Well, you got to go Ledley King.
I think we all.
You got to have
Ledley King, yeah.
Ledley King, as you said.
Yeah, I put Ledley King in.
Yeah.
Who did you go for the other centre back?
Partner was the hard one to pick, actually.
Well, I've went Vertonghen.
I went Alderweireld.
I went Sol Campbell.
Yeah.
Fucking hell! You didn't have Sol Campbell in the Arsenal team. Did you have Toure?
Yeah. No, but I actually thought about Campbell, because Campbell was amazing for Spurs as well.
He was
brilliant.
He was for Arsenal too. It's just Arsenal had two other great defenders, and I think it's between those three. I've got the other two on my bench. It is literally between. There's a case to say that Vertonghen and Alderweireld together for a certain time were great. Campbell was excellent for a while. King was great whenever he played. So I think
I just think that Campbell.
Either of those three.
I mean, I always think Campbell's a great defender. I don't really like him as a person, but I've heard a few strikers say in the past, not strikers, Alan Shearer said a few times, someone else as well said that they would never have Sol Campbell in a Premier League 11 or England 11 because they found him quite easy to play against. So I take that, I'm thinking, well, if these strikers found him, comparing to other people, they found him the easiest to play against out of the kind of top defenders, then you can't really have him. I mean, you can't really put him in that bracket.
Yeah, but is that substantiated? Do you know what I mean? Is that he wasn't a good defender because everyone could play well against him. He clearly must have been good against some players. Do you know what I mean?
He was great, but I think he was really good in the air. He was really good in the air. He scored goals at corners. He was solid in the air. He won everything in the air. But I mean, looking back 20 years, was he dynamite on the pitch when the ball was on the ground? I don't know if he had the. I mean, he was a good defender.
He was a good player. I think you're being a bit harsh. I think he was.
We're discussing the strengths and weaknesses, so I've got to be a bit harsh sometimes. Actually,
just because you don't particularly like the guy.
I mean, overall, I've just went. I think in the prime again. I mean, Sol Campbell. I had them in my master team last week.
And if you ask a Spurs fan, I think. I mean, what we should have done last week, we should have asked Steve to do
Jobo,
and Jobo to do Spurs team.
Yeah.
If you ask Jobo, I don't think there's any chance he's putting Sol Campbell in because of the fact that
he won't. He won't.
Possible.
Let's actually. We should find that out. Actually, we should ask them and find out because I'd be quite interested to see their teams.
Yeah, we'll find out for next week.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Right, I'm willing to put Sol Campbell on the bench. I feel like I'm conceding most of my players here, guys. I've got to be honest with you.
I know.
I am willing to put Sol.
I'm not even going to chime in on this one because I would have Sol Campbell in there.
And I would have Campbell or Alderweireld in there. I'm not going to complain about either of them.
I'm easy. You, Wragg. You can pick.
But I've got Vertonghen and Alderweireld on my bench. It's so random. So
have you got them on the bench as well, Russ?
Yeah.
You don't have to concede, so you can decide, Wragg. If you want Campbell, you go Campbell.
All right, amazing. Sol Campbell back at Spurs. There we go. He's in the back.
Fair enough. I'm all right with that because I did think about him as well.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think Ledley King. I mean, bar injuries, he would have been great for England and would have been a top player. But injuries kind of scuppered his career. So let's go left back.
I'll probably end up conceding because I couldn't really decide on.
It's got to be Gareth Bale, guys. It's got to be Gareth Bale.
No.
I put him as my left back.
I'll second that. I've got Gareth Bale at left back as well.
Yeah, no way. You can't put him at left back.
Yes, mate.
You cannot put Gareth. I'm not having that at all.
Gareth Bale started as a left back.
And what happened? What happened when he started as left back? Didn't they?
Let me tell you what happened.
For like
when he was 26, he became a left midfielder. So he was a left back for most of his career.
Yeah.
Of course you can put him left back. He was not a great left back. He was a great forward player.
He had
I think you'll find
bombing down the left. I mean, defensively, you're right, Michael. I mean, defensively, he was not.
He wasn't a great left back. But the thing is,
against Inter Milan, and that like 3 or 4 seasons at Spurs when he was scoring so many goals when he's playing up front.
Okay,
no, that wasn't up front. That wasn't up front.
It was wide left. It was wide
left. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, you've got to think about
left back. I'm not having that.
But you've got to think, though, we've got to get these. We've got these players on our team. We've got a load of players, so we've got to try and fit them in the team. And Gareth Bale was a left back
for 5 or 6 years. Fit them in the team.
Here's what it comes down to. At the moment, it's 2 against 1. Me and John have both gone for Gareth Bale. So Michael Felton, you have to bring a case of who you're putting forward for your left back to change our minds.
No.
Who have you gone for as your left back?
What the thing is, okay, all right.
Now, before you say it, can I say one thing? Before you say it, if you say the person I was going to put left back, I will concede. But you have to say the person that I was going to say.
Well, it's between 2.
Go on. Right. Just say the one. Say who did you put in your team, mate?
Simon Davis.
Simon Davis was right midfield, you donkey.
No, I didn't. I put Danny Rose. I put Danny Rose in.
I was going to be like, you fucking joking. Yeah, Danny Rose.
Well, you're not playing, playing players anywhere. No, I put Danny Rose in because
he was a left back for Spurs, Gareth Bale, and he bombed forward and he was brilliant going forward.
Yeah, but the problem is,
he wasn't a good
defender. If you look at my team going forward, I'm really happy with it. And Gareth Bale was a big part of that. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, fine.
So Danny Rose, or who was the other one?
No, that was it, basically. It was Danny Rose.
Yeah, I didn't have Danny Rose. The other one I was going to put in, who I thought was better, was Asu Okoto, and I thought he was a really good left back, actually, for them. So he was the one I was going to put in. But I went with Bale.
Bang average. Was Gary Mabbott, was he a left back?
And he's centre back, but he was before my time, so I didn't put him in.
Well, there's Christian Ziege. Was he left back or was he right back?
Yeah, but he was left back, but he wasn't that good for Spurs, was he?
No. So that's what I mean. It was a tough, but I just can't have Bale there, man.
I was actually going to put Jan Vertonghen at left back at one point to try and fit the whole defence.
I'd take that. I'd take that.
Oh,
he has played it.
You're swaying me. Okay, fine. Should we have Vertonghen at left back?
I that's what I was trying to do because, I was trying to fit him in as well, but I wasn't that bothered. I was trying to fit more of the front players in. But
the only thing that's going to be, we're not going to be able to decide on this one because you two have gone with a different formation. So that's why it's going to be difficult to pick because we're going to have to concede. I'm going to have to concede formation, or you're going to have to concede it. You both of you. Do you know what I mean? So we're probably not going to agree the whole way with this one anyway.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Players will be playing that position.
Yeah.
Well, we could agree on the players though, and then find out a formation at the end or something if you wanted to try and do that or something. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Are we conceding Gareth Bale and putting Vertonghen as a left?
Yeah, I think Russell's quite strongly about it. And to be fair, I understand he started being a great world class player when he was wide left or up front. But from a personal point of view, when I'm trying to fit all these players in the team, I've got to try and get him in the team somewhere.
Yeah, but you're trying to fit him in. That's it.
Yeah, because what I had was I had 7 strikers written down, and if I was going to play this 4-2-3-1, which I was going to do because I had my midfield sorted, I can only fit 1 player up front, and I was like, I need to get someone out of that.
But that's what I've done. I've had to sacrifice people, and they've had to go on the bench. As good as they are.
I know. Well, I've still done it. I've got players on the bench that I wanted to put as well, but I just feel like Bale was a left back, and if you play him there now, I mean, not now, but I mean, if you played even 5 years ago, if you put him a left back, he had his confidence.
Cannot defend. So he's not a good defender.
But that's fine though, because you've got King and Vertonghen, and then you've got my holding midfield player can drop in as well. So he's more of attacking fullbacks. Lots of the best teams in the world. Roberto Carlos is a shite defender.
Yeah, the only way he would work there for me is if he was a wing back. If there was 3 at the back and he was a wing back.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only way for me he would work there. So then you can expand it because there is a lot of good centre backs. But then you would have to sacrifice midfielders for the 2 wing backs. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Why don't we go on to midfield?
Yeah, let's have a look.
In our midfields and strikers, and then we can work out.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, let's try and do it.
Go on then. Midfield. Who?
So I went for a 3 because you've got a 4, you lot, haven't you? So
all right, you tell us your 3, and we'll tell you if they're in our midfield.
So I went for Modric.
He's in my midfield. Is he in your midfield, John?
Eriksen.
Modric. Yeah.
Hang on, you broke up.
And
hang on. Hang on.
I've gone for Dele Alli.
Hang on. You broke up.
I've Eriksen and Dele Alli. But I've got Modric.
Wragg.
You broke up. Are you back?
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
We're just saying that he's got. Yeah. Can you hear us? Yeah. He's got Modric, Eriksen, Ali, but Eriksen and Ali are on my bench. So we've all got Modric.
I've got Eriksen in my team and Modric. Right. So I'd be happy to put.
Well,
you got this, guys? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for who I've gone for?
Right, go on.
I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Andy Sinton.
Darren Anderson as a right winger.
Fuck
off.
I've
got him on my bench.
No way.
I've got him on the bench. He was decent.
He was decent for Spurs, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then I've gone Ginola on the left.
He's on my bench.
He didn't even make my bench.
Yeah. I went kind of old school on the right wing and the left wing.
And then Modric and Eriksen in the middle.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough. Well, I've got a diamond, 4 diamonds. So my second midfield player is Michael Carrick. And then
I did think about Carrick, but it's a 1 season, wasn't he? And
it was two seasons, was it not?
Well,
he
played 20 games, didn't he? Well, whatever, yeah.
And then my my left-hand side of the diamond is Modric. The top of the diamond is Son, and the right-hand side is Van der Vaart.
I got Van der Vaart on the bench.
Yeah, I got Son and Van der Vaart on the bench. Oh, this is tough, isn't it?
Because I think the problem is the last few we've gone with the same formations. It's because I've mixed this one up and gone for a 3. Like I went Modric and Eriksen, and then none of the players you've picked really fit into my system, apart from Van der Vaart could have gone instead of Ali, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Who have you gone up front then? Let's work out up front, because I mean we've all got to go for Harry Kane, right? You've got to have Harry Kane in there.
Yeah. So I've gone for basically what a lot of teams play now with 3 up front, with Kane, Son, and Bale.
Yeah.
Kane, Son, Bale. See, I just went Harry Kane and Berbatov.
I've went Kane and Berbatov as well.
Because I think Kane and Berbatov would have been dynamite if they played together.
Yeah, and they were. It was hard to leave them out because originally I wasn't going to have Berbatov in the team. But I thought I can't leave him out and have guys like, even though Van der Vaart is great players, but I can't leave out Berbatov if I have Van der Vaart and originally before I put Carrick in, it was going to be Moussa Dembele. I was going to have that number 6 role. But
you left Son out though.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you put him in the diamond.
Yeah.
So Son's the top of my diamond. Yeah.
I put Son on the bench.
Berbatov is different class. So yes, Carrick, then Van der Vaart, Modric, then Son, Kane, Berbatov.
People into where they shouldn't be playing. Do you know what I mean?
Like who?
I mean, Son's not really a top of the diamond player, is he?
Do you not think so?
No.
The free roll?
Nah, not at all. He's more of like a wide attacker or down the centre. Like,
I don't know. I think putting the number 10 role behind.
And you're putting Modric out on the left, where Modric generally.
But it's not wide left. It's still centre midfield. Well, I tell you what, actually, I could do a 4-3-3 as well, and have Van der Vaart, Carrick, and Modric, and then Berbatov, Son, and Kane. Like Kane in the middle, Berbatov the left, and Son the right, and then Van der Vaart, Carrick, and Modric in the three in the middle. It's basically a 4-3-3, isn't it? A 4-2-3. A diamond is could probably still be a 4-3-3. Yeah, I mean, I'd be quite happy to change it to that. I mean, so Son, Kane, and Berbatov. And who was your front three? Son, Kane, and Bale.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's obviously no place for Darren Anderton or David Ginola in this team.
Well, he's on my bench.
There's a seat on the bench for him. There is.
Yeah.
But you made that face. You still put him on the bench?
No, David Ginola I've got on the bench, not Anderton.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I've got Robbie Keane and Jermaine Defoe as my strikers on the bench.
Yeah, so have I.
I've got Defoe and Sheringham, actually.
I've got Defoe, Sheringham, and Keane. I've got all three of them.
Berbatov didn't even make my bench.
Wow.
Honestly?
Are you joking? Seriously?
Well, it was between him or Sheringham, and I put Sheringham.
I think Sheringham played better at
And then I threw a curveball by putting Klinsmann in.
Well, the thing is,
because I looked at his stats and he was like a goal every other game. So I was like, yeah.
I thought Klinsmann was going to be like one of the first things on my team sheet, but when you think about it, like
he only played 2 seasons, didn't he?
I know that's what I mean.
True.
It was different era.
True, yeah.
My bench is Lloris, Carr, Alderweireld, Sheringham, Defoe, Keane, Ginola, Ali Eriksson. So, I mean, yeah, it's all similar kind of players, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I
don't know.
On my bench, apart from that,
I took him out. I scored him out, and Scott Parker as well. I scored out.
It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one.
Right.
Well,
okay.
I think we've all got. I mean,
I'll concede formation, so we'll go 4-3-3.
So will I. Yeah.
I'm happy with that. I think what we should do is, because Gareth Bale can't be a left back, I don't think he can make the team. He can't be in as part of
He's got to be in the team. He can't be in the team.
No. He's got bench. We've got to bench him.
No way.
I think he's got to be in the team. I think he's got Gareth Bale. He was. Do
you know what?
One of the best players in the world.
I'd rather be at left back than not in the team at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think he's got to be in the team.
Even though I really think he's wasted at left back, I'd take him at left back than not.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I would do. I would concede, if we're doing 4-3-3, I would concede Berbatov and have Son, Kane, and Bale, because that was going to be that was the first kind of 3 attackers on my team sheet. Son, Kane, and Bale. I think we've all got them in our team. And in the midfield,
this is not. This is at the height of their career. So even though they're at the team now, they're not. I mean, Bale's not the player he was at the minute.
No.
So
But then in the midfield, we've all got Modric.
Yeah.
And then
I've
got the
I'll
other.
concede Dele Alli for whoever.
Well, Van der Vaart or Carrick, or you've got Van der Vaart.
What about Eriksson as well, haven't you, Wragg? So
yeah, I've got Eriksson and Modric. I'd stick them in.
I'd go Modric and Eriksson, and then whoever you two decide between.
Jermaine Genius,
the last position.
Fuck him. Well, no chance. Well, I mean, I'm not. The thing is, Van der Vaart, but I'm not that passionate about getting Van der Vaart in the team. So I mean, I don't mind putting someone else in.
No, but you say that like I genuinely, I remember watching Van der Vaart play for Spurs, and he was pretty quality. Like he was decent, wasn't he? And
he was. That's why.
Who would you rather have in, Carrick or Van der Vaart?
See, I'd rather
Dele Alli, because Dele Alli in his prime.
No,
Dele Alli 3 years ago was brilliant.
I'd have Van der Vaart over Dele Alli.
Right. Well, so would I.
And I'd have Van der Vaart over what's his face?
So we go Modric, Van der Vaart, and Eriksson.
Carrick, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Decent team.
That's decent.
So who's going at left back then, though? If you're conceding that.
Vertonghen.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And who got his manager?
Terry Venables.
Harry Redknapp.
Pochettino.
Yeah,
we all go for different ones. It's unbelievable, eh? That's so funny. Yeah. So the team is Lloris, Walker, King, Campbell, Vertonghen, Van der Vaart, Modric, Eriksen, Son, Kane, Bale. It's a pretty decent team.
It's a pretty decent team, isn't it?
Anyway, on to Everton. No, I'm joking, not yet. But it's a completely different ballpark than the Everton team, by the way.
It really is. It really is. And I think I might be conceding quite a lot next time. So
yeah, so I'm quite happy.
If I did lead that one a little bit, I'll be taking a back seat on this next one.
I know.
What do you reckon manager-wise? Like, I mean, Harry Redknapp, Terry Venables, they're kind of fairly similar kind of managers.
Guys, I would concede because I love Harry Redknapp, and Terry Venables was a Spurs legend in the Spurs team in the 60s as well. So I mean, either I'm completely.
I like all of them, yeah, because like Pochettino's team probably played the best. I went with my heart with Harry Redknapp just because I like him.
Yeah,
but Venables as well. I was a big fan, and he's ex-Chelsea player, so I'm quite happy with any of them.
Why don't we have Venables with Redknapp, like they're doing like a shared manager role?
Yeah, I'm up for that. Can I just say it? But did you see it? I don't think you would have, but did you see Ant Dick's Saturday Night Takeaway at the weekend?
No.
Right. Sure. Well, you will want to watch it because Harry Redknapp and Jamie Redknapp were on it, but they were doing a prank. So they was in a bar they bought, and they were interviewing people for staff. But Ant Dick were in their ear telling them what to say. It is fucking priceless. It's so funny. Okay. It's like me because I can get through it. And Jamie Redknapp, as soon as it started, like bogies came out his nose, and he could hardly get through it. And it was different class. You will both love it. I'll send it to you.
I do like them prank bits. So
I love them. They're
I do quite like them.
It was so funny. But Jamie Redknapp spat his thing out as soon as. But I'd be exactly the same. I'm shite at planned pranks. Like as soon as I get to walk to the door, I'd be like, I'd be exactly the same.
Right. That was fucking hilarious.
I know. There once was a little waiter called Thomas.
You want a Bosman?
Yeah.
We're talking 3 mil, 2-3 mil. Yeah, the boy's lying in the bed at the end. The once was a little waiter called Thomas. He's like.
There was a little waiter called Thomas.
Yeah. So bad, man. It was so funny. Like,
I know exactly. Like, Jamie Redknapp was just like,
I know. Yeah.
He didn't want to say it.
He said, "A good-looking guy in a good-looking place." He can see it. And he done to Harry. I like making me laugh. You're fucking making me laugh.
Harry even went even more with it. He's like, she's got her head in the bin. I can't think of anything else.
But when he said about the girl, was like, "I'll leave your bag there. I'll have a rummage through that in a minute." And he was like, Harry was, I'm not saying that. That was brilliant. I loved that.
Yeah,
it was really funny.
Well, we would recommend, definitely search for that on the old YouTube and watch the clip from Saturday Night Takeaway there. That was hilarious. Jamie Redknapp, Harry Redknapp, doing job interviews to people for the makeshift, the made-up bar that they've acquired.
Is that a made-up bar? I didn't know if it is a made-up bar.
Yeah, it's all made up, wasn't it?
Was it?
What was really funny, what I found funny was when there was that the girl that was being interviewed, and they took her into the where they did the football, and she's like sandwich.
I know, where did she get a sandwich from? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
She's not eating the sandwich.
I don't know where that was from.
You're in an interview and you're just like, let's just have a sandwich.
Yeah, I've done bits and bobs, just like tearing a big sandwich. Oh, it was hysterical.
Oh, God, that was hilarious.
Anyway, yeah. Moving on to the other, the blue half of Merseyside.
Okay, so before we do this, it pains me to have to look at Everton after the week that's just gone by. Liverpool are on probably the worst run that they've been on for a fucking long time. Definitely at home. Like I know with the pandemic, it kind of doesn't really matter about being at home.
I'm still laughing about the girl eating sandwich. Sorry. You went in too soon. Sorry, carry on. I'm gonna get out of my head now.
But do you know what I mean? Like being at home, it makes no difference. Like home and away, without fans, without that kind of thing, it
happens to every club. Liverpool's heads are down. It happens to every club. Like, but it's like they've been on such a great run, and all of a sudden it's dipped and it's going through a really, really bad spell.
It's just mental. It does happen
to every club.
It happens to the same players though. Like, doesn't that blow your mind? The same team.
Yeah, that's how it always happens though.
Yeah,
like, you just forms.
If it goes on for too long. Coming from like obviously a point of view where I've seen it happen a lot. If it goes on for a long period, it starts to have a sense of the dressing room unhappy more than anything else, and the players not. So I think it's nothing to worry about now. But if it goes on for a long time, I think there's something more to it than because it, like you say, when it's the same players, it doesn't just stop.
I think the injuries are horrendous. So I never usually make that excuse, but the defence, the centre back position. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Every single centre back is out injured, and they sign new ones, and or whatever. And it's like I mean, it's a really, really, really unlucky for them.
You can't have 18 different centre back pairings and not expect to be solid at the back. Do you know what I mean?
I would say as well. It's just they don't look as potent going forward. They don't just.
Yeah, that's true.
Something's not there. Like, I mean, you've got to give props to Everton though. I mean, it's the first time they've won at Anfield for 20-something years, isn't it?
22 years.
Yeah. So
who was the Everton manager when the last one?
Don't know.
Howard Kendall?
No, who was it?
Walter Smith.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, looking at Everton players, it does pain me after the week that we've just had. Fair play to them. I think, like, just touching on the game a little bit, I didn't think it was a penalty at the end. Did you think that was a penalty? Like the Alexander Arnold? When he slid in,
I mean, I can understand why it was harsh, but I mean, I don't understand what else they could have given. I mean, they were saying, he can't give up a penalty for that. But it's like, well, he was going to score, and he's accident or not, he's taken him out. Even if it was an accident, he stopped him from scoring the goal. So surely it's got to be a penalty.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying because I thought it was harsh.
No, I thought it was really harsh. I didn't see it as a penalty, but I'm biased,
I mean, you'd be screaming for it. Yeah, you'd be screaming for it if it was other end, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's just touch on that because as a Liverpool fan, it's really starting to piss me off how Mo Salah goes down under fresh air, just blowing him down.
Wragg.
I mean, oh my God, it's driving me insane. Like,
I know.
What's that like from the outside? Like, you guys were like watching it. Are you just like, Mo Salah, what are you doing? Like, he's a great player.
We've seen it as for a couple of seasons. I think the only problem now is he's doing it more often, and that may be because of the losing streak, and it may be like I need to get opportunities to get this really back.
Can I just quickly interrupt you?
A bit more?
Sorry to bother you. Leeds Southampton's on. It's a penalty for Southampton, but it's VAR because the boys dived. Just in case anyone's got it on, it was a clear dive, but I don't know if they're going to give a penalty or not. Anyway, sorry, Ross. Just in case you were watching that, but carry on. I know what you're saying, but carry on.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. So.
Just Salah diving and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, VAR will clear it up if Salah was in the box because he literally goes down under literally nothing. He's getting a reputation, and it's frustrating to see because do you know what everyone's comparing it to as well? Brilliant. He doesn't need to do that sort of crap. It winds me up.
I just think it's been frustrating for us for years. But I mean, like when you look at West Ham on Sunday, and I'm so impressed with West Ham. I've seen it this weekend at the moment, and you look at guys like Souček and stuff. I mean, it's just a big honest team, and it's guys who are like it's like an old-fashioned team, like Declan Rice and Souček and Soufal and whoever else. It's like, and Souček gets it right in the face. I mean, blood everywhere, and he's still standing up, like blood all over his face, willing to put another tackle in. And that's what you want in footballers. In any sport you're watching, but not any sport, but rugby, not tennis.
Tennis.
not gymnastics. But you know what I mean. But as fans and as people who spend our lives and our weekends and everything talking and watching football, you want to see good honest guys that are paid a lot of money.
You want to see good honest guys covered in blood.
Well, yeah, but do you know what? You don't want it. You'd rather see that than guys just falling over all over the place and holding their faces, rolling about.
Sure,
I mean, get rid of that. I mean, it's got to be the case where, I mean, it's like maybe they brought in like 20 years ago. If you dive, you get booked. But it's like, do you know what? Fucking, if they dive, send them off, and they'll stop it completely.
Yeah, but the thing is, I said it a couple of weeks ago and this was referring to Salah as well in the middle of the pitch against. I can't remember who it was against now, but I don't think it happens that often anymore. There was a time where players would get booked a lot for diving and simulation. It doesn't, and especially with VAR, you'd think it would happen more because that's how you need to get rid of it. Because you know, obviously when Drogba first came to Chelsea, fans really got on his back because you know, it was the same scenario with what Salah's going through now. I mean, opposition fans saw it before, but then, you know, even as a biased Chelsea fan, you start to be like, "Oh, come on, this is ridiculous."
Exactly. I know.
And then, but when he was starting to pick up bookings, but that was when he first came into the league. So the Salah thing's slightly strange because obviously he's been in the league for a while, and it seems to be getting like doing it more often now.
It's in a culture though. It's like I'm not going to say foreigners. I mean, be as ignorant as that and say blasé as everyone not from Britain is the same. But there's a certain cultures where they've been brought up diving and they're constantly diving. And there's certain leagues that's just diving. If they get almost touched or slightly touched, they'll go down like a ton of bricks. And they're really good at it as well. So it's just in their nature to dive.
But that comes to referees as well, because referees as well in Europe, you know, they fall.
I would say as well that
foul, don't they? 9 times out of 10.
English players are not you know, can't be criticised for that as well. They can. They definitely all sorts. You know, everyone does it now. It's just part of the game. But you need to start booking people again to get rid of it.
They do, yeah.
Or more. Or find them, or red cards. Because honestly,
or punch him square in the face.
I mean that'd be ideal. If we say, right, you've dived, we're gonna have to punch you square in the face, or whatever holds them.
You can't find them or punch them square in the face. I'm sorry, that's like because it's.
What about Tunnel of Death, Wragg? Do you remember Tunnel of Death?
Yeah,
the opposition team
that would be brilliant.
Against the wall, and then Salah has to run through as they're all levering him.
Yeah, but do it in the stadium, so they have to go around all 4 stands in the crowd, and everyone come out dead. Well, he shouldn't have dived. I'm sorry, but shouldn't be diving.
Right. On that note, let's look at Everton then. That pains me. Here we go. Right. Should we agree a formation now? Because we could probably
4-4-2.
I won't 4-4-2 yet. So goalkeeper. Goalkeeper. I mean, if you've gone for anyone other than Neville Southall, then just stop this now. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, let's stop. Let's not bother.
Let's stop this now.
Are you joking?
No, I'm joking. I don't think he's joking. I think he's got Tim Howard, but I've got Neville Southall.
I have got Tim Howard.
No,
I was slithering between both, but eventually
Tim Howard was great for Everton.
Yeah, that's why he's on my bench. That's why he's on my bench.
Yeah, well, Southall's on my bench, so if it's 2-1, then Southall goes in. Not
but I want to say Howard was my number 1 up until yesterday. Because Howard was really. Where the fuck is my?
Why did you change? Hang on, what changed your mind? Did Neville Southall just come out into your head? And you were like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it now.
I just thought that like I want to change up a little bit because I want to have a few different kind of heads in there, a few different eras, a few different generations. And Southall was different class at the time, kind of late 80s, early 90s.
The amount of games he played as well.
Howard was.
Longevity.
Yeah, and he's an Everton legend, so I just feel like the name.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I've gone for Southall.
So it's to get more of a spanning era in.
Fair enough.
Oh, chance. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Rafinha's going to score from here. And he's in. Oh, he's absolutely clattered him. He's absolutely clattered him in the box. That must be a penalty. Sorry. Has anyone else got this game on?
Nah.
Is he not give a penalty? That must be the best tackle ever seen if he's not clattered him here. He's absolutely went through him in the box. Oh my God. I just want to see. Sorry. Rafinha's got the ball here, inside his own half of our Southampton free kick. He's run the whole length through the field. He's just about to pull the trigger in the penalty spot. This boy, Romeo, comes in right behind him and clatters him, and apparently he's got the ball and it's not a penalty. Back to you in the studio, Jeff. Hold on, I'm seeing it now. Oh, he's got the ball. It was a great tackle. It was like, wait till you guys see this.
He is trying to he's auditioning for Soccer Saturday.
That is tackle of the season. That is tackle of the season. That by Romeo. That honestly. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, sorry. Would your Everton right back have been making that tackle? So who have we gone for right back?
Yeah, Seamus Coleman.
Seamus Coleman. Yeah. All agreed.
You there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. Who went near him?
Wragg went.
Yeah, Wragg. Yeah. I went Seamus Coleman. Yeah.
Yeah, Seamus Coleman.
Yeah. I think the two fullbacks were the easiest.
Yeah.
Decisions.
Leighton
Baines at left back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, two in the middle.
This was actually the area where there was a bit of a choice.
Yeah.
I've got 5 names.
Where there's a lot of good ones.
I've got five names. I'm happy with any combination of the 5.
I would say so as well, actually. I would say that as well. Can I just say, is the 5 names, tell me if I'm wrong, Stones, Lescott, Jagielka, Distan, and David Weir?
No.
2 of them not. No.
Only 2 of them you got there?
Most of that was for me. It was Lescott, Stones, Jagielka, Dave Watson.
I see Dave Watson. Dave Watson was slightly before my time.
See, I went Dave Watson and Phil Jagielka in my team.
Fair enough.
I went Dave Watson and Jolyon Lescott. So.
And then I went
Phil Jagielka and Sylvain Distan. Because
I went Lescott, Stones and Yobo. What about Yobo?
Oh no, I wouldn't put Yobo.
I did have Yobo on the bench as well. Not on the bench. I did have his name written down, but yeah, and Distan was good for him. But I think so on the vote system, then Watson's got 2, Jagielka.
Watson and Jagielka.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that because actually that was the Everton consensus for the Everton fans of Premier League 11. It was Dave Watson and Jagielka, but Dave Watson. I only started watching English football kind of 96, 97.
What's this for? What's the like?
Oh, it was Everton fans. On greatest Premier League 11. So
Dave Watson was great, and he played there for a long time.
That's what I mean. Ages, and he was captain as well, wasn't he? But
he scored a few goals from headed goals from corners as well.
Yeah. As I say, I started watching English football 96, 97, so it was just slightly before my time for English football, I'm afraid.
Not a bad back 4, actually, then.
Yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Okay, now, in the midfield, this is where I struggled with getting a balance in the team. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
You hear me now?
You break up a bit, right?
You hear me now?
You're breaking up a little.
You hear me?
That was a fuck up. Wragg, you froze at this spot. You were like... That was so funny.
Can you hear me now?
You hear me now? Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah. Go on.
Start with the right midfield.
I'm crying,
yeah. So am I. Yeah, right midfield. Right, who have we gone for?
I went for Andre Kanchelskis.
Nah, Pinar for me.
I've went for Andre Kanchelskis as well.
Who was it? Kanchelskis was there for like a season, wasn't he? He wasn't there for a long time.
It was 2 or 3 seasons. I just want to say at the same time, I've got Pinar on my left-hand side. He was more left midfield.
Yeah, I got Pinar on the left as well.
Right, fair enough. Yeah.
I thought he was on the right. No?
I
mean, you could probably
play him on the right. I think he played on the right a few times anyway, but I mean, I think he was more left-footed. But
yeah, in my starting 11, I did go to Kanchelskis and Pinar.
Okay.
Me too.
I'll stick Pinar in for my...
Wait, who have you got on the left?
Gareth Barry.
Oh, no, I wouldn't put him in the left midfield. But he was past his best. He was past his best with him to Everton as well.
With left midfield, because, well, obviously, I thought Pinar was... Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, someone in my centre midfield, we could play left midfield, actually. But we'll see. We'll see what you think.
Okay, centre midfield, I don't know, it was hard to get a balance there, and I've just picked 2, but I don't think it's balanced. So this is where I might, just take names out of yours. So I went with Cahill and Fellaini in the middle.
Yeah, well, I've went. Who have you went with, Wragg?
I went Cahill and Arteta.
I've went with Cahill and Arteta as well.
Well, that's probably more balanced, isn't it? Because Cahill
is balanced, yeah.
That's where, I put Fellaini on the bench. I think he was good for Everton, but I think Arteta and Cahill would be more balanced. But I struggle, like I say, I put Gareth Barry as left midfield.
You happy with Pina on the left then?
100%, yeah. Stick Kanchelskis in, but I just remember Kanchelskis more from Man United. Like that's why.
Weirdly, I remember him being better for Everton.
So do I, because I mean, when he was at Man United, it was kind of 95 he left it or something, wasn't it? I mean, but I remember him when I first started watching him being at Everton. It was 2 or 3 years he was there.
Yeah, okay.
And then he played for Rangers as well. So
just an age, like as I got older, I just remembered, or maybe I watched it more when he was at Everton. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was actually pretty straightforward then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The other ones, I don't know if you have a look at your bench. Who else you had? I had Gary Speed and Thomas Gravis and John Collins.
Gravison I thought about, but then I didn't bother.
Gravison, Fellaini and Phil Neville.
Yeah, I put Phil Neville on the bench because
I didn't have a
good utility player.
Longevity.
He was just an average player, wasn't he? He was just an average. I know why you put him in there. I mean, he was captain and stuff, and he did a job for them. But I mean, he was just an average player. He wasn't.
And Leon Osman I put on the bench as well.
Yeah.
Just he was bang average. Yeah. Who have you got up front?
Yeah, the other one, the recent one that I put in was Rodriguez.
I think that's what I spoke to one of my mates today, and he was saying that as well. But I think he's been pretty shite for them actually.
Well, no, he started well, but
there's already rumours started well for a couple of games, but he's shite since then.
There's rumours that he wants to go, so maybe he's not settled there. I don't know.
But where is he settling? Do you mean he's been shite everywhere he's been since the Euros, or since the World Cup? And I mean, he didn't do anything for Real Madrid. Bayern Munich went there. I know it's top clubs, but he's not done anything really, has he? And then who's in Napoli as well? He went to after.
Was he?
Can't remember.
No.
I can't remember.
I think that's all bollocks, mate. I think he seems happy at Everton. He's playing well. I think he's decent.
And then also,
fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Names that I've because Kevin Morales was right.
Yeah, he was a decent player.
Ross Barkley had a decent time there.
Yeah,
for a little bit, but again, both of them just not for long enough, not for sustained periods. I think that's the problem with a lot of these players. They just weren't. They were good for a certain period, but not a long.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them on my team. No.
Yeah.
But I know you mean. Kevin Morales is a good player.
I'm interested to see who you've gone for your front two.
Yeah,
because I think we'll either bang on agree, or we might be like.
I think we'll all have one player in there that we'll agree on. I'm pretty sure we'll have one player we agree on.
Well, does that player begin with L?
No.
Yes. Well, not his second name does.
Yeah, Lukaku.
Yeah, Lukaku.
You've got to go Lukaku.
No, I didn't go Lukaku, no.
Is that a Chelsea thing? That's got to be a Chelsea thing.
No, it's not. He's on the bench. I put him on the bench. I put Lukaku and Yakubu on the bench.
No, Yakubu didn't even get in my team.
No.
I went with Wayne Rooney and Big Dunk, mate. That's what I went for.
Who'd you go for?
Big Dunk and Lukaku.
So did I. Big Dunk and Lukaku for me.
Rooney on the bench. Rooney?
Rooney on the bench. He was only there when he was 18, and when he left, when he signed for Man United, he actually wasn't playing every week. He was on the bench most of the time. I remember him being on the bench a lot.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And then Man United signed him at the end of the season because of what he was going to be, but he wasn't. He was there
for more than a season, surely.
No, he wasn't. No, well,
it was 2 seasons, wasn't it?
12 or something, wasn't he? No, he left when he was 18. He signed for Man United in 2003.
2 seasons. Yeah. Yeah, but then Lukaku was only there for 2 seasons, wasn't he?
But Lukaku scored hundreds of goals for them, didn't he?
Not how many goals did he score?
I'm just going to look it up.
Goals to ratio was pretty good for Everton, I think.
And if we're going on a balance of a team...
110. Actually, he was there for 3 years and 53 goals. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty decent.
Yeah. Duncan Ferguson and Lukaku is quite a nice front two.
Yeah.
Complement each other. I think they get some good goals.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Big shout out for me for Tony Cottee and Kevin Campbell.
Did you have him on your bench?
Kevin Campbell, I thought about actually. Yeah.
When I think of Everton, I do think of Tony Cottee. Like obviously a bit earlier, but I do think Tony Cottee.
Fair enough.
He was good for them, wasn't he?
And I'm just going to check Yakubu now because I just had a feeling he scored loads of goals for them for some reason, but maybe not. 20 25 and 82 games.
It's not.
He scored loads of goals for Portsmouth, I think.
That's average. Yeah, I think of him Portsmouth more than Everton. Ikubu. Definitely.
He played for Borough. I don't even remember him playing for Borough.
I know. He went about after that, yeah.
Yeah. But that's in between Portsmouth and Everton. I don't remember that at all.
So my
anyway, so I'm happy with that. Then
my internet connection went a bit funny there. So you basically sounded like you were on, like, I don't know, underwater, kind of going really, really slow.
Yeah, it sounded like you were a robot, but we just sort of tried to gloss over this one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we just left it.
Don't lose it again.
Yeah, I can't lose again.
Who we going
for?
My
bench is. Well, I'd be happy. I mean,
Ferguson, because by the vote, that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, but if you want to put Rooney in there, I wouldn't be.
No. Stick him on the bench. I'd stick him on the bench.
Yeah, you twat. My bench, I've got Tim Howard, Les Scott, David Weir, Gary Naismith, just for the Hearts reason. John Stones, Gary Speed, Thomas Gravison, John Collins, and Wayne Rooney. Manager David Moyes.
Yeah,
David Moyes, 100%.
It had to be.
Let's think of shirt sponsors. Sorry, so we didn't do it for Spurs. So shirt sponsor for Spurs.
Holston
for me.
Holston Pills. Yeah, Holston. Everton would be
Chang Beer. Yeah.
No, what's the one in the 90s though?
Who else did they have? NEC? Did they have NEC?
NEC.
Yeah, it was NEC. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well done, Wragg.
And what, seeing as though we didn't do it last week, what would you go Arsenal and Newcastle?
JVC for Arsenal.
JVC, yeah. And Nuki Brown for me for Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle Brown. Yeah, it's got to be.
Because it's a lovely beer as well.
Yeah,
it is. Remember we went through a phase of drinking that quite a lot. Also after Nuki Brown.
Yeah.
Nuki Brown.
I still do sometimes. It's just like, it'd be years and all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, I really fancy Nuki Brown.
Nuki Brown, yeah. I know. Oh, I can't wait for the days we can have another Nuki Brown actually.
I know. Do you know, when the sun was out today, it's been so nice and just started to think about like beer gardens and stuff.
I know. I can't wait for that.
Very, very quickly, did you read the article about professional footballers taking players out of their fantasy football team?
Yeah, James Madison did. I know that, but I don't know the rest of them.
And there's like Twitter kind of like bots that track professional footballers' manager teams, so that they get inside information. For example, Andy Robertson took out Mane a couple of days before he was injured, like because they knew he wasn't going to play. James Madison took out Vardy a couple of days before because they knew we weren't going to play. So they're saying like team sheets are like clubs are now like looking at these to see if certain players there's a probability that they're not going to play. They found out that's crazy, isn't it?
Do you know what? It's I can see it being ridiculous. So it's going to be 2 seasons later. They're going to be banned from playing fantasy football. So.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say that because I don't want to keep bringing obviously they've got plenty of rules it is, but see, obviously they're not allowed to bet at all, like footballers and stuff. But if they start betting amongst each other, because James Madison was saying the other day, he was like, "Oh, I'm gutted that I scored because not I'm gutted because I scored, but all my mates have got me as captain, and I took me out." But I was thinking, can you imagine it's like if you're 3-0 up and you're playing you're a big group of pals, you're all playing for 100 grand or something because you've all got that money, and then it's like, oh, should I put this free kick in the top corner if everyone else got me as captain, or should I just stick it over the bar? Do you know what I mean? I hope it doesn't get to that, but you never know.
Yeah. Nah, surely not.
Do you know what I mean?
No, that's a good point. Yeah, I've not thought of that because you can't bet on real life kind of games and stuff. So.
No, so it's like maybe they'll have a wee bet between each other. You wouldn't want to think that, but you'd be annoyed if that wasn't like. That's just why it's such a dangerous thing. Yeah. It's dangerous.
They probably will get banned. You're right. They'll give it a year, and then there'll be something like that, and they'll probably ban it. They'll ban it for proper footballers, but not for us guys. Are you really enjoying your fantasy football this season? Yeah.
No.
Well, no, I'm not actually because I've got Danny Ings as captain. You're not, Rash. You're bloody bottom of the league, mate. Are you not?
I'm potentially going to win my game today, so I'm catching up to.
Well, I've got Dan Ings as captain, and I'm playing it, and he's on the bench. I've got Garland, who's 10 points behind me. He's got Bamford as captain, who's playing. So Bamford will probably score in a minute.
On that note.
On that note. Take it easy, guys. Enjoy your
later.
Enjoy your food.
Enjoy the game. Good luck with Chelsea.
Later.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.